What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Stellar Lumens today, XLM. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it here. We're at about 26.6 cents right now on a daily basis. Pretty neutral, right? Bitcoin's pretty neutral as well, I think. We're up a little bit, right? 1%. XLM is chilling. Looking at the daily time frame, we have found resistance in these lower highs of resistance on the RSI right here. It is possible we could go higher, but I don't think it'll be anything sustainable. We likely will inevitably, regardless if we move higher first or if we just move down first, we likely will see the oversold zone and potentially even see lower readings than anything we've seen throughout this whole drop. Maybe, maybe not, but time will tell. Looking at XLM, I would think that the next low will be our last low. I don't believe that this is the low, but it could be. It's a possibility, you know. I mean, if we're looking at the price here, that does take you to about a 14% drop. Bitcoin's going to drop 14% in itself. And if there was any coin out there that's like in the top 100 that I could see moving down tit for tat with Bitcoin, it'd be coins like XLM, XRP, probably not Ethereum at this rate. Solana maybe, maybe not though. But likely, like every altcoin, what's probably going to happen is if Bitcoin drops 14%, you'll drop more percent, right? So how much more? I don't know. We'll see if we can figure that out. From a low here to a high there, and I do think that was your high before taking out this low. I think it's very obvious, or maybe not so obvious now, but it will become increasingly obvious. 21 cents is a good target. I think that's a good minimum. 21% of a drop compared to 14% of a drop on Bitcoin. Yeah, I can see that. I could see that happening. 20 cents, that brings you down to about a 24% drop. Yeah, I could see that as well. Getting a little bit away from that 28%. I don't know if XLM drops at a 2-to-1 ratio versus Bitcoin. It could. But 19 cents is probably the lowest that I could see you going to. So something between about 21 to 19 cents. I like that as an area. I think that's something we've talked about, long discussed here for a little bit. We had hopes that that was the low, but you know, crypto and Bitcoin, it did not move down. It wasn't ready to move down, and now that we are finally seeing prices at a lower price, the drop coinciding with Bitcoin, it would make a lot of sense that we do take out this low here. From a low to a high there, low to a high here, you tipped your 1618 right here, right? I'm going to delete this fib so we can see it. You tipped the 1618. The only next logical area to go to would be to your 1886200, which is right there between 19 and 20 cents, man. 19, 20 cents, 21 at the best, but I really do like that 20-cent area for support. On a daily basis, we did actually have a daily closing low right here, right in this zone. If we go back in time, I wonder if we find any significance right in this area, just above, just below. Boom, to a T, perfect, right at the tip there. Prior resistance could become support, right? Kind of an area of turbulence, you know, maybe just above. You could find some support at this resistance here. Just below, you could find support here, and that's at like that 19 to 21 cent area. Going back in time, support, somewhat significant throughout this thing's history. Resistance, I like it. I like it a lot, man. Yeah, and probably going back in time, we have one more or a couple more reads. Let's see here. Not so significant there. Hey, support, turbulence, whatever, disrespect. A little bit of support here, a little bit of support there. Yeah, significant enough, especially in recent times. So I do think 21 to 19 cents holds. Probably most likely something like literally right there at about 20 cents in itself. Let's see here. Hold on. Boom. There we go. And then from there, we will be on our merry way to new highs, right? If we're looking at this on a weekly time frame, let's just we'll keep our line there, and we'll delete everything else. Let's delete all this stuff, yeah. So our line right there, coming back, tipping this for prior resistance as support. We will have a nice looking bull flag. It's just as you move down, your measure move target does move down as well, because your measure move goes from the low of the pattern as we go down. If this is the low, and maybe you go a little bit lower, maybe you go a little bit higher, the target area from the measure move perspective would be at $1.37. And is that a possible outcome? Yes, it is a possible outcome, but I don't think we stop there personally. I think that we do go higher. Measure moves, after all, are ideas. They're not guarantees. You can fall short of them. You can go beyond them. Just because the measure move is up here doesn't mean that you have to. You could break out of this pattern and bust it to the downside, right? Anything can happen. But this is the idea, that idea right there. If we take last cycle's high in May of 2021 to the bear cycle low here in December of 2022, we can see that this measure move is just below our minimum fib extension from that area there. So my opinion would be that we don't fall just shy of our measure move, rather we exceed it a little bit. And that could make sense on a couple of different fronts, right? One, I think that a lot of people are bearish on crypto, more bearish than they have been throughout the whole damn bull cycle, which is crazy, because we're just at higher lows than we've been at this whole bull cycle. But I love to see it, man. Despair is what bulls feed on most. They feed on that bearish despair. We're also going to be breaking out to new all-time highs combination of despair, high levels of fear, people thinking the bull market's over, they won't see it coming, so boom, in your face. And then also once we see new all-time highs, boom, in your face, that can create some panic and FOMO to the upside. And I would think that we see a bigger move than what we saw last time, right? Because this measure move comes from the last move. So to see a bigger move than this measure move, that implies a bigger move than the last move. Being that we're at high levels of fear here, high levels of uncertainty, a lot of people doubt that the bull market still exists, and that the fact that XLM will be at new all-time highs, I think all of that coinciding together will give us a price of at least $1.54. At least is the expectation, right? At most, we could be running up to prices that are above $2, like $2.46 or beyond. I really do like this $2 area for XLM, but as we go lower, it becomes ever more. I become ever more skeptical of that being a reality, right? It's very common to stop at the 1272. You can wick a little bit above it, sure, but it's more common where if you go above it that you would at least interact with the 1414. So I am a fan of, if we do go to about 20 cents there, if we go to about 20 cents, let's put this at the right area, just above 20 cents there. I am a fan of the notion that XLM will see an overall 10x move. Okay, overall 10x. I am also a fan of the idea that it could see an 11x or more. Maybe we do go up a little bit above $2. We see like a 246, 270 price. I don't think we go all the way to 358, though I accept it as an outcome. That would be crazy. 17x, a 17x on a coin like XLM, right? Where are we at here? Where are you at, Stellar? Which is worth $8 billion. I mean, that's a lot, man. We're talking about going from $8 billion to jumping above $100 billion. And you've never done that before. You've never been to 100. So I don't know if you see that kind of growth, but something that's on the lines of like around $2, just above, just below. That's the expectation. It's long been the expectation, even as we go lower. The targets, if they've changed at all to the upside, they've changed just a little bit, coming down a little bit, right? We very much did heavily expect back here. The measure move made a lot more sense that we would go to prices above $2, but now it's a little bit less clear. I think something that's around $1.54 is a good minimum. Something that's just above $2 is a good maximum. Very fitting targets there. We're at 26 cents now with the prospects to go a little bit lower, and then from there we'll start to recover. From there we'll be on our merry way and we'll begin to grow. I want to talk about XLM versus Bitcoin now. XLM BTC, and maybe we'll keep this chart up, okay? We look at this here. We go on a monthly basis, and we just look at this chart. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but it's very possible that XLM could go back to its all-time highs versus Bitcoin and even beyond there. It is possible. I'm not saying that it will happen, but you do have a double bottom here after all. Double bottom on this chart. That's a nice reversal area. You had a very wicked recovery from there. If you are to move up, I would think that your next move up by the end of May, June, when we're at that $2 area, I would think that you're somewhere around here. Prior areas of resistance here, somewhat of a resistance there on a monthly basis as well. That's at 401486. Let's just do that real quick. Google calculator. 401486. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1486, right? If Bitcoin is at the price that I think it will be at when Stellar Lumens is pumping and topping off, I would think Bitcoin's probably going to be above 130K, probably around 175K, something in that zone. So let's just start with 130K. 130K, let's see if this makes sense for any of the target areas we talked about. That gives it $1.93. So sounds about right. That's good, right? If it was dramatically less or dramatically more, we might be too bearish or not bullish enough, or might be too bullish or not bullish enough, however it works. Let's see. Then we go back, we do this again, right? Maybe Bitcoin's not at 130K. Maybe instead Bitcoin is at 150K, right? Something like that. That's above $2 there, right? That's actually adding to my belief that XLM could see a plus $2 price. And if Bitcoin is at 175K, that gives Stellar Lumens a price of 260. And these are all targets that we've addressed could be possible, okay? I did say as high as 275. Technically, $3 could come on the table as well, but I don't think 350. I don't think we go that high, right? I've already said that. Going just above the 1414 is a pretty common endeavor to do. And going to 260, that would be just above the 1414. So that can happen. All of these targets line up if XLM goes to a pretty considerable area for resistance, right? You continue your way up. Now let's talk about the all-time highs for the cycle. Let's assume that XLM goes to its all-time high area versus Bitcoin. Maybe it doesn't break above it, but it goes to its all-time high area. Let's even be conservative here at 404. That's it, yeah, versus Bitcoin. 404. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 404. We'll just say that. It's a little bit more than that, right? 404, 0 through 1. We're dealing with big numbers. Let's be specific, okay? Something around here, right where these monthly high closes are. Okay, let's say that that's where we go from a high here down to this low down here. That is right at our 886. I would even think it's more appropriate to call for the 886, but let's do that, right? Hell, let's even take the 786. We'll do both of these numbers real quick, okay? 786 is at 402,882, okay? I'll do this so that I don't have to do it again because I don't want to. 402,882. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2,882 times what I think Bitcoin's going to be at the height of its cycle. I think Bitcoin will break above 500K by the end of the cycle, but I don't think Stellar Lumens will be at its all-time high by the time Bitcoin tops off. I think that Bitcoin will come down and then Stellar Lumens tops off. Oftentimes in the bull cycles, we see Bitcoin top off and then a month later, all coins top off. So with that assumption, if Bitcoin's at 500,000 or thereabouts, I would assume whenever it tops off, it's not dumping dramatically yet. We're not going to be like too crazy lower, but probably something, let's say 450K. Let's just say 450,000. If you're not on board with that, I don't care. That's my analysis. That's my belief. I've been calling for this for years, and I think it's going to happen. More people are coming on board with it, and I'm sticking with it, man. We'll see. We'll just see if it happens. But if it does, this lines up pretty well with some targets that we have, right? A $13 target by the end of the cycle for XLM USD. If we take, if we go on a monthly basis here, we take the very first bull cycle that you were up here to the very bearish part here, $13. $13 is the target, right? XLM to $13. That puts you in between the 1618 and the 1886. I don't really know if that's what I would expect. It could happen if you know we're finding resistance on this fib here, $13, but still kind of in an area that's in limbo. So not quite what I would expect. So this again being at the lower end here, maybe that's not where we go. Maybe we do go a little bit higher. And after all, if Stellar goes here, the rest of the cycle, I don't think you grow that much. I think you'd grow a little bit more. But let's keep going. Maybe Bitcoin's at 450,000, maybe it's not. What if, I mean, if Stellar Lumens were to be at only a $9 price, Bitcoin would have to be sizable. It'd have to be below 400K. So I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Stellar's going to top off when Bitcoin's below 400K. If it goes up to 500K, I mean, maybe it is. Let's accept that as at a minimum by the end of the cycle, Stellar could top off around $8. Okay, minimum by the end of the cycle. You're at 26 cents now, $8 minimum. I don't really think that that's what I would personally count on, but just by the fibs, okay, yeah, that's about average. So sure, minimum, $8.50, $9, somewhere around there, minimum. I'm okay with that. Okay, maybe you top off before Bitcoin runs up. Maybe Bitcoin doesn't run up to 500K and it's at 300K or something. But let's run with that. Okay, as a minimum. If we do this, if we were to take this price, sorry, that's what I was trying to do, and multiply it by that same $450,000 price, right? This would give us a price of about $18. Now, I do like $18. I think that $18 could be an area that we stop off because with the 2272, it's pretty common to go just above there. So we could go just above there, missing the 1886, which isn't that common, but being that this is the more relative fib, even if this is a larger fib, it might be that you respect this. So $18, I like that. That could be a good maximum to have. $18 there. If Stellar Lumens versus Bitcoin goes to higher prices than anything we've talked about, if it does go to 40432, let's just see what that would be. 40432, 1, 2, 3, 4, 432, and we multiply that times about 450K. And again, I'm just guessing here, right? Who knows if Bitcoin tops off at 500K? Who knows if it tops off higher? If it goes higher, if it goes lower, these numbers will change. But this is just off of my expectations, right? That's the whole point of analysis, $19. So I have a hard time seeing Stellar Lumens get above $20. But in that area, I think it could go. $17 to $18 is the area that I personally am expecting. But at a very bare minimum, I think that an $8.50 price is what we could anticipate. At the most, maybe $22 at the very most. But then that just kind of exceeds any of my expectations on the USD price and on the BTC price. But it's a possible area. So those are the all-time high considerations. Going a little bit lower now, 19 to 21 cents, probably right there in the middle at 20 cents. And then we'll begin to rally going into May and June. Going into the month of April, May and June will begin to rally. And I think May, June will be at about $1.54 to prices that are above $2. I've got nothing else for you guys. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.